How's it going? My name is Neil Peterson. I've been playing with Kubernetes over the last couple of months, and what I found was that I needed an application that I can run in Kubernetes at some sort of scale. So I really needed to go beyond Hello World to help me in my Kubernetes ramp up. So I wrote something myself, and I just wanted to demonstrate that application in this video. I will be following this up with some additional videos on how to set this application up, um, scaling the application, auto scaling the application, some of the things I learned about concepts like Kubernetes custom resource definitions and how Kubernetes pods stop in kind of scale in situations. But I wanted to kind of first introduce the application just so that we can see it running before jumping into some of those other concepts. So basically, this application is broken down into 3 to 4 pieces. The first piece, get tweets. It gathers tweets from the Twitter streaming API based on a keyword and stores the text of those tweets in an Azure storage queue. The second part grabs those tweets from the Azure queue, takes the text of the tweets and bounces it off the Azure Cognitive Services text sentiment API, which basically returns a sentiment score. This is then stored in a Cosmos database. And then the final piece put some visualization around these scores. So this is just a Python Flask app that pulls the data from the Azure Cosmos database and creates a pie chart out of that data. So I'm just going to demonstrate the application kind of in its most basic form. But before doing so, I'm going to do a couple things to help visualize what's going on. First is I've got this script that reaches out and returns the queue length from my Azure storage queue. So I haven't started anything, so we can see this is basically returning zeros. So let me go ahead and start that now. And we can see that 3 deployments were created, and then the service, which basically exposes that Flask application to the internet. And if we watch this kind of this stream here, we can see like there's some ones right there. So we're grabbing tweets and we're starting to put them onto the Azure queue, and then they're pretty quickly processed at that point. So essentially, the moment we start this, the application starts running and gathering tweets and processing tweets. Now it does take a few moments for the service to create. And once this external IP address goes from pending to an actual IP address, we can see the results that we've been creating through this process. And what's going on here in the back end is just that the Azure load balancer is being configured to pass traffic through to this pod. We'll just give that a second to finish creating. All right, and there is that public IP address. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that, and I will just drop it in here. And cool, so we can see the results. We've got positive, neutral, and negative. Now, one thing to note, I'm searching on the word Seattle here, which is producing very few results. That said, one of my intentions in developing the application was to really kick this thing around and see stuff at scale. So there are, search terms that generate quite a bit of work. I'm just going to actually artificially inject some tweets here. And as I run this load script, you can see that the queue is filling up, but also notice that I only have one processing tweet replica running, so it does take a little bit to chew through that backlog. In future videos, I'm going to kind of show how I've been playing around with scale and in particular auto scale to respond to Azure queue length. So definitely stay tuned for that. So just to summarize in this video, I just wanted to kind of show off how this application works. Um, Stick around for the next video where I'm going to demonstrate how to quickly create all the Azure services needed to run this Twitter sentiment application and get it loaded up into Kubernetes without having to manually build manifest files or whatnot. And then after that, I'll have a series of videos with focus on very Kubernetes specific features such as auto scaling, creating a custom auto scaler, custom resource definitions, pod scheduling, etc. So appreciate it, and thanks for watching.